Cattle farmers are also starting to look overseas. This is a massive ranch in Gunma Prefecture with 5,000 cattle.
We raise them here until they're about 28 months.
There's a reason for their focus on export markets. Tsuyoshi Kato has been shipping top-ranked Wagyu, but says differentiation with other products is becoming difficult.
Cattle raising techniques in Japan have improved, and there's a lot of marbled beef on the market. Too much to be consumed domestically. The supply is too big now.
Wagyu is a label given only to cattle raised under strict breeding rules. But with the improvement of breeding techniques, there are now more than 220 cattle brands nationwide jostling for consumers. So now they're seeking out new markets abroad.
There are registration certificates for each cow. Yes.
Each certificate has a muzzle print, similar to a human fingerprint. They say cattle managed under such strict rules can command high prices overseas.
We're confident that once our meat reaches the export market, consumers will try it.
As the domestic market shrinks, Zeno is exploring ways to expand exports. The EU is another huge market in their sights.
We're hoping to start exports to the EU soon.
They expect final authorization for their factories to be granted in the near future.
The appetite for high-end Wagyu in Japan will undoubtedly shrink. The three key markets will be the US, Hong Kong, and Southeast Asia, centered on Singapore. Also, the EU.
With beef a major sticking point in the Trans-Pacific Partnership trade talks, will Wagyu lead the way for Japanese farmers?
Well, with the growing interest in Japanese food around the world, I hope that more people will get a chance to try Japanese Wagyu. And now our next topic is vacant homes.
Yes, you're right. Now first let me show you a graph over here. As you can see, the number of vacant or abandoned homes has been on the rise in recent years, and in the latest year for which data is available, there were 7 million across the country, which is roughly equivalent to 1 in 7 homes.
I see. So you know that many of those places are struggling when you see shopping arcades and stores shuttered and homes boarded up.
Yes, you're right. And that's a situation you see in many places. So now there are moves to better utilize these unused properties as a way to rebuild and revitalize the local cities. And the key is back streets, so take a look.
Nagano Prefecture, a stone's throw from Zenko Temple. The arcade to the temple grounds is packed with tourists. Just off it, on a back street, a certain change has been afoot. An old structure that draws in passers-by. A pizza place, popular for its pies baked in a stone oven. The small restaurant quickly fills up after opening time, just before noon. It was opened 2 years ago by a local who left and returned to the area.
Rents on the main arcade are high, and a lot of nice shops have opened up around here.
Next door is a cake shop. They also set up in a previously vacant home 2 years ago. And a few steps down the street is a structure that at first glance appears to be another old and vacant property. It's, in fact, a bakery. Opened last year, they operate out of a former metal shop and have a small cafe where customers can sit and relax.
When we were walking down the street, we saw a couple of shops. They're all very nice.
This street is not only easily accessible, but also offers rental fees a third of the main arcade. It's a mountain of hidden treasures. Specializing in these properties is Tomonori Kuraishi, who set up a real estate agency in the neighborhood 4 years ago. In addition to the low rent, there are relatively few restrictions on renovations. Mr. Kuraishi has handled 46 in the vicinity of Zenko Temple so far. He says the number of contracts has grown every year.
It's kind of surprising that if marketed right, there are people who want to rent these properties to do business. There are many vacant homes, so it's good to have a service to introduce ways to utilize them.
Late April. A newly renovated multi-tenant building that Mr. Kuraishi was involved with had its grand opening.
It's retro and cute.
Formerly a stationery wholesaler, it now has a cafe on the first floor. Offices on the second, and a residential space on the top floor. The use of vacant properties is spreading nationwide.
It's happening especially in prefectural cities and expanding every year. There's a much bigger opportunity to renovate properties and revitalize these areas compared to places that didn't originally have residential spaces.
The Land and Infrastructure Ministry this March. They also started promoting the use of low-cost vacant properties.
We want to promote the effective utilization of vacant properties in line with the available stock of a compact city. There are a lot of unused properties that even the owners don't know what to do with.
The ministry is now proposing a new type of rental contract that makes it easier for tenants to carry out renovations.